Dubai right now don't need realtors who will talk about the emotional side, as you said. The kitchen is nice. Dubai needs realtors who understand investment like you. But this brings me to a really interesting thing.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I wouldn't agree with that. Money is going to Dubai. We are following it.
Yeah, because they
they're
can
in that
see. They can
business.
see. Yeah,
They're in that business.
Yeah.
They're moving family offices. They're moving their families here. Imagine Dubai doubled its population 4 times.
Yeah, and in like a
It
small
made
period.
X2 to population 4 times in 30 years. Like if you Google it, Dubai, one of the top 3 searches is when Dubai market will crash.
Your personal point of view, Azizi Rivera or JVC?
JVC.
You really like JVC more than Azizi Rivera? I have with me the former Minister of Investment of Dagestan. And guess what he's doing now? Real estate in Dubai, a different challenge. It's an interesting story that we're gonna dive in. Of course, we will talk about real estate, what he thinks about the market and all of that. But I think his story is also interesting. So, Camille, how are you?
Thank you very much. All's good. All's good.
All's good. So so first of all, I just want to know, how come you changed from being, I think it's sort of political figure, into this?
Kind of. So it was an agency for investment development in Dagestan. It's one of the Russian regions. And actually you are in minister's position and member of the cabinet of ministers.
Yeah.
So you are in charge of investment development of a whole region, right?
Yeah.
And I was invited by former governor of Republic.
Yeah.
At that time, it was 2020, the start of COVID.
Yeah.
The most tough time to start something new, right?
COVID,
And,
yeah.
Just to give you a brief idea, from there I transited to creating a new city in the Far East. And it was...
So it's something related to construction and all of that?
Yeah, it's when you are collecting the urbanists, the developers, the governance structures, and you are creating with them what is the concept, why people should move to this place and create a new city for 300,000 new residents.
Wow.
In an empty space. And you've never done it before. So it's like for your first time. You need to figure out.
Wow.
And what adds to it, it's a place where people are living actually now. No one is going there. So you need to figure out why people should be moving there.
Oh my God, it's like Mission Impossible. It's like literally
kind of.
Mission Impossible. And did you pull it off? What happened?
At some moment I decided that you cannot create, even if you are doing the impossible things, as you said, Mission Impossible, you cannot be in charge of some certain things when it's a big government project.
Of course.
You cannot,
be flexible.
You cannot be flexible. You cannot manage the whole process. So if you have even a beautiful concept or idea, the execution and implementation will not be
as you imagined it.
As you imagined it, right?
So you didn't feel like you are free to put your vision.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, it depends. Like, I understand, like, everybody have his own vision and all of that. But when was the time that you said, okay, look, let me try. Now it's clear for me why you're in real estate. Somehow you're still in your field, because what you were trying to do, it was something related to construction. It was urbanism, right?
It was even higher level.
It was a higher level,
It's about concept and strategy. Why? The answer to why. Why we need a new city here.
Yeah.
From why you get to how we build it.
Cool.
And who builds it. And you are inviting the developers and all the other guys who are in charge of construction. But to invite them, to make the project interesting for them, you need to answer why. What is the strategy? What is the big idea?
Yeah. And you need also to understand the mentality of people so you can build something accordingly.
It's an interesting story. When you are actually planning a city is one of the most interesting things a man can do in life. Because you are trying to figure out all the layers of human life, like culture, where his kids are going to school, like what is the healthcare, where he's going on Fridays, what should be the F&B selection, like what is a portrait, who are these people, who are these 300,000 people divided into groups that will be coming to this city in next 30 years.
Wow.
So when you are putting it on a paper, you have really the biggest spreadsheet you've ever seen.
It's like a huge piece of paper.
Right.
Yeah.
And you are to find the only reason why we need the new city in this place. So it's like a very difficult and interesting task to accomplish.
So do you think this experience you had in your country helped you into being a good agent in the UAE?
Well, actually, it was kind of, being overqualified for this job, because
Yeah, that's the vibes I got from you. By the way, when I talked to you before, I was like, this guy, he's overqualified of being real estate agent. I'm not saying real estate agent is like it's a good job, it's a fancy job, it's a cool job.
Right.
But what you have in your brain, that's why I wanted to invite you. It's very interesting. The information that you have, the way you see things, is totally different. This is why I want you to give me your like intel or what you think about the market in the UAE. Like, especially, first of all, I want to know, how was the transition from Dagestan or Russia to here? How did you feel about it? Like, as a personal experience.
Well, when I decided to move somewhere from Russia, Dubai is one of one choice. You cannot move. You cannot find any other place in the world where you can be welcomed, where you can unpack your skills and find your place on the market, where there is a growing economy.
Yeah.
And the skill set you have, you can implement it.
Exactly.
So there are things that I've done in my life. Like, I've been 10 years a CEO of investment company. I've been in charge of a whole region in terms of investments, attracting investors to the region.
Yeah.
I've been in charge of developing not only construction, but creating the big ideas why something should happen.
Yeah.
So with this lens, when I came here, the choice was very, obvious.
Yeah.
Investment and development. This is the two things that Dubai is, fully loaded with, and
this is what you did. So you were like the right person in the right place and in the right time, because we're seeing thousands and look, Russians always been in the UAE, but lately, obviously, what's going on, we see a lot of them coming and investing here. And obviously, I'm sure that helped you in your career, because you're dealing with your people, you can understand their character, and you can invite them here to invest. But I have a question. What's different in the lens of a Russian investor versus the rest of investors? What's special about Russian investors versus the other investors in the market?
You were right saying that when I just moved here, of course, it was my connections and friends and colleagues whom I helped to do the proper decisions, because, there was kind of rush for properties, for transactions at that particular moment. And there were a lot of inadequate decisions made at that time.
Such
like
as?
People were buying things that they shouldn't buy at the prices that cannot be paid at that time.
Can you give me an example, if you don't mind?
Let's say, I know some cases when wealthy people from Forbes list, and by the way, I was working in Forbes also as advisor to CEO of the Russian Forbes magazine. So I have some connections with the wealthy
Especially
guys.
you worked in Forbes, you have have connections.
And what they do when they enter some market, they find someone who is in charge of that particular sphere, let's say real estate in Dubai. And they do not go into details, because they have a lot of people around who are helping them with some, execution, with finding information, finding people.
Yeah.
And they are financing, let's say he wants to invest 10, 20, $30 million. So he's not taking decisions himself. He's finding a man whom he trusts or whose competence he trusts. And then he's making him in charge of this money.
All right.
And what he cares about is, if I put $30 million, this is the cash flow I want to get. This is the appreciation I want to get. And let's say the horizon for my investment is 5 years. And these are the least figures I'm counting on. If you can provide a strategy how we achieve this, I'm working with you, and let's do step by step. So these guys were primarily my focus, because I'm more about figures than emotions. And in market, and especially in real estate, we have two decision-making processes. It's like left and right brain. So I'm more about figures, calculations, and investments. And if you are making an investment decision, I'm always telling my clients, I don't care what you think of property, whether you like it or not, whether
it's
the
not
color
my problem,
is the kitchen, etc.
It's not important. It's not relevant for investors.
Yeah, your opinion doesn't matter because these are the figures, the prediction, the forecast, and how these kind of properties performed before.
Okay.
So we look at how it performed before, we can do some forecast. And if you are looking for a place to live, then the figures, and my opinion, they doesn't matter because it's all about tastes. It's about some other, metrics that you cannot predict. Because what is important for a client, like the schools, the neighborhood,
of course,
the quality, whether he likes the size of the kitchen or not. These are more emotional decisions.
These are more like the wives of the investors or the lady investors. They maybe go, and users also.
Right.
They go for, but investors, they think differently. But I want to remind you of a conversation we had. And this is when you told me this, I knew you were very different. I know that you see the market differently. You told me, Walid, because we spoke about like the hastiness and the hurry of the Russian investors in that problem, when there were problems happening in Europe, there were some bad decisions. You already mentioned it now. And you mentioned, for example, you told me, Walid, a lot of Russian investors, for example, they bought an Ymar beachfront with a certain price. And you told me that price, it's the reason why it will not appreciate. Even if Ymar beachfront, it's a good project, but it was not priced correctly. And I saw it like a different way of seeing the market, but it's correct. It makes sense. You know what I mean? So what do you want to add about this?
Well, if we look at where the Russian investments went majorly, these are the Blue Waters, Dubai Hills area, Mar Beachfront, and smaller part is Dubai Creek Harbor.
All right.
So for areas like Blue Waters and Dubai Hills, they were mostly decisions made not based on figures or not even on the fact that they liked some properties, but they were, people were sticking to each other. If they don't know the market, they don't have enough time to make the decision. They're asking their friends, okay, where are you living?
Where did you buy? I buy there. Okay, I'll buy.
I'm going. Yalla. I'm going there.
Yalla strategy.
It's a bit expensive. No, I'm paying. What is it? Plus 2 million? Yeah. Okay. I'm paying because I'm in a rush.
I got your point.
See? That's how decisions were made. And if the decisions were made like that and prices grew on these kind of decisions, you cannot now come to that community and say, now I'm, looking at figures, measuring, and I see a lot of agents saying, the appreciation that we have in, let's say, Blue Waters in Dubai Hills, it tells us that comparable area which looks alike or which is developed by the same developer, it will have the same success. We cannot compare them because a lot of decisions in a rush were made for these two areas. Who knows what will be the price now in Dubai Hills if not these rush decisions? Right?
Yeah, of course. Like you think that the prices were giving high on a high level, the prices were already overpriced, that now there is no chance to appreciate.
Correct.
This is what you're saying.
Still they're nice places to live. If you are looking for a place to live, if you like your friends who are around you, so it doesn't matter plus million,
of course,
plus 500,000, right? But this is not a place where you put your investments.
So basically, what you're telling me is that from a end user standpoint, they're good, but from an investor standpoint, not really.
In any country, the rules are very similar. You see a developing area. You see the first projects coming into this area. You see strong infrastructure or anchors, as they're called, like big shopping mall, like big marina, like beach, like anything that anchors the interest of end users. The first projects in that new area will be a perfect fit for your investments, where if you are chasing capital appreciation. But if you want to buy something and to rent it out in 2 or 3 years, this will not work for you because let's say the area will be developed in 6 or 10 years.
All right.
Completely. So when people will want to rent apartment there, it will be the closer to the end of the project, right?
True.
Because the community itself should be quite mature to have high rents.
Exactly. Otherwise, they will be hearing the sound. It will be like a chaos.
No one wants to pay high rents and to live in the middle of construction.
Exactly.
So if your strategy is to buy something for cash flow for renting out, you do not go for the first phases of a new community.
100% you make, it makes total sense.
If you want to rent out, you go for the nice community that is 40% developed, 50% developed, because while your project will be handed over, the community itself will be like
almost finished,
80%, 90% completed, and then from the day of handover, you get some nice returns on from rent.
Exactly, yeah.
But if you want to resale, you are the guy who buys the very first projects, and you are reselling to those guys who buy it and rent it out.
It makes perfect sense.
So you have groups of investors and people who are putting their money on different stages of each project.
So Camille, we're diving into even the difference between two investors, because there is an investor who want to resell and an investor who want to rent, and they have to approach the market in two different ways, that as you said right now.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting. It makes total sense. I never thought about it. I never heard it before, what you're saying, but it makes total sense. And thank you for this. I really like what you just said.
What really amazes me that you are saying just very basic things. And sometimes they're unfamiliar to people who are advising on investments.
Of course.
Actually, what realtors do, or what agents do in Dubai, they're advising on investments. And it really frustrates me when, if you are selling apartment, if you are selling a place to live, we are just in the same positions. Whatever is your background, etc., it doesn't matter. And this is the beauty of the market. Anyone can come, can get the basic knowledge of the market, developers, etc., and he can start the journey, like get the license. And
he can start selling real estate, but he cannot see it from an investment standpoint with those details.
Right. Like, let's say I'm a doctor. And let's imagine that real estate in Dubai is the healthcare market.
Okay.
I have 10 years experience in being a doctor. And let's say I'm specializing in some certain
like
disease,
a cardiologist,
cardiologist, And you are coming from, let's say, mechanics background. You've been fixing cars. We will be in the same position, and we both will be making prescriptions to people.
It will be two different type of
advising, advising what they should do when they have this problem or that problem. That would lead to a disaster, right?
Yes.
That's what happens with most of the investment. That's why 60% of the deals are not bringing returns. The returns that people were expecting. Because to give qualified investment advice, you should tell first what is your relevant background, like what you've been doing before. Like you have a 5 years experience of managing people's money, or you've been investing in other markets, or you have some education in that. What's the quality of advice you're giving in terms of investment? But it doesn't relate if you are selling property as a product to live in.
Of course,
this part is not working. Like if it's not an investment advice, but if it's realtor's work, then totally fine.
I think the realtors, because I'm interviewing a lot of realtors, I think Dubai right now don't need realtors who will talk about the emotional side, as you said. The kitchen is nice, the building is Dubai needs realtors who understand investment, like you, at least who worked enough years in Dubai, even if they don't have a background of an investor, or they don't have a background in investments. At least they have to work for 5, 6, 7 years, and they can jump into this like pool of advice, because you're advising people to invest in the end of the day. But this brings me to a really interesting thing.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I wouldn't agree with you, because market needs people of different minds, because we have clients with different minds.
All right,
I cannot cater to people who are making emotional decisions and they are happy with it. Because, not every property purchase should be a wise investment decision. It can be emotional. That gives him, energy boost. He feels good.
Of course,
And it makes him work and earn even more in his main business. He doesn't care what is the investment, bad investment, good investment.
He just likes it.
He likes this particular villa near the sea, and he's ready to pay 10 million over. But his family is happy. He's happy to be there every day. He feels energetic, right?
All right, I want to ask you, in the market, do you think there is more of those people or more of people who wants ROI and investment in terms of numbers, according to?
Can't tell you because it all depends who you are. If you are more comfortable with people making decisions based on figures, then you will meet more people
of those
like
people.
that. So your perception of market will be
different.
They're all investors.
Yeah.
But if you are more comfortable with emotions, with building relations, and
you like the farmer type of sales. Yeah.
Then you are meeting more people like that because it's about connection from the first talk.
Of course.
If you're not connecting with the client, if you see that you're speaking different languages, you cannot work with him. So
of course.
So he's not in your orbit anymore. So people who stick to you are quite the same in the mindset and in how the decisions are made.
And even like from a client standpoint, when he sees someone who understands his language, naturally he or she will gravitate toward that person.
Correct.
All right. So I want to ask you something. We spoke that a lot of, let's not call it bad decisions, but wrong decisions were made, especially for the Russian community. And I heard, I might be wrong, but I heard that there is a drop in the number of Russian investors lately. Do you think this drop is because those prior wrong advice, or is just naturally how the market works?
What happened with the, let's say, number of investors from Russia and Dubai is that we had this rush, right?
Yeah.
And only one time in the number of transactions we've been, as Russian investors, been number one on the market. It was just for one quarter, I guess, in 2022.
All right.
Because usually, historically, Russian investors were always here, but they were number 5, number 6. So, and just in one quarter of 2022, because everyone jumped in one moment and bought everything they could, so they became number one.
All right.
And then, of course, it had,
it came back.
Came back. And after the currency fluctuations that we had in ruble to dollar now, imagine $1 was 60 rubles, and then $1 is 100 rubles.
Wow.
You got like 40% loss, right?
Yeah.
So if you bought something for $1 million, now it costs you $1,400,000 in terms of currency.
Yeah, conversion. Yeah.
So at that point, when the currency rates changed, it was a reality check for some myths that were on the market. There was a myth that, especially among Russian investors, that, everyone I know is investing in Dubai. So Dubai's success is based on Russian money. And actually, if it was true, when everyone started to sell at the original price after this currency exchange rates, the market should have slowed down or depreciated because they were selling at original price that they bought 1 year, 2 years before.
Okay.
So the growth of the market should have stopped or went down.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. Actually, in 2023, market grew by, what was it? Something like 18%?
Yeah.
So it means that everyone who was selling at the original price, they were bought by different other nationalities.
Yes.
And the market kept growing. So it means that Russian investors do not have that impact
on the market.
On the market. And now Dubai market is so big and so stable that 89 countries' residents are investing here on different level, number of transactions. And it's the only place in the world where you can actually invest now. Because if you go for properties in other countries, and if you calculate properly all the figures, the cost of transaction, the taxes, the annual taxes, the returns you can get, the appreciation, the rental yields, and everything else, then these are not actual investments because you're losing money.
Wow.
So Dubai literally is not the only place.
It's like ticking all those boxes.
Number one in the world right now for real estate investments.
Wow, yeah.
And for a market like that, there is no one nationality that can fuel the growth or can depreciate it.
It's like a mixture of a lot of nationalities.
Right.
But do you think, just quickly, I just want to know, because I don't know about this information, like first, second, and third, in terms of numbers in the UAE, in terms of investors, who are the first nationals, second nationals, third nationals? Like if I think about it, I would say Indians first,
You know, it changes quarter to quarter.
Really?
The first, second, third positions, they
The
change.
last time you checked?
If I'm not mistaken, British investors were number one.
What? British?
Yeah,
I didn't
correct.
know that.
Even
Yeah.
they surpassed Indian investors, which were number one usually.
Wow.
Since COVID time, Indian investors were number one.
Mhm.
Because you know, you cannot compete with number of people and money that India has
Yeah.
as an investing country in
Of course.
UAE.
Yeah.
And one of the major partners. But British investors are flowing to Dubai because they're falling because of increase in the
Yeah.
life cost in
In the UK, yeah,
in
what's
UK.
happening? Yeah.
And because the services, the lifestyle you get is depreciating.
Yeah.
So you are paying more and getting less,
Yeah.
and no safety comparable to UAE.
To UAE.
The education for kids, the perspective for your business, the taxes, etc. There are 5 or 6 big questions, big matters that form this interest and outflow of UK citizens.
Yeah.
So, and believe me, these are not. These are some of the wealthiest people moving from UK, from Switzerland. Actually,
Swiss as well, huh?
Actually, the IFC
Yeah.
and the neighboring areas.
Yeah.
We have a lot of investors from Switzerland, and what they are saying, they are from family offices, from investment funds,
Yeah.
and they are saying that money is going to Dubai. We are following it.
Yeah, because they
they're
can
in that
see. They can
business.
see. Yeah. They
They're
can
in
see.
that business.
Yeah.
They're moving family offices. They're moving
Yeah.
their families here. And there is a very interesting part with working with wealthy investors from UK, from Switzerland.
Mhm.
Let's say someone wants to spend $10 million, $30 million. It's very difficult to find a proper fit for him in Dubai, despite the myth that it's oversaturated with luxury projects.
Wow. Okay.
If you really have money in the in your hands and you go to buy something, there are only few projects that can cater their needs at their level.
So we don't have. You're saying that even though Dubai is a luxury city, but because it's still new, they don't have enough number of those top luxury notch projects.
Right.
They have a small number of that because it's new.
Yeah, and luxury in countries that are, let's say, old money countries.
Yeah.
Luxury is more about not a shining project with a lot of
Antiquity.
gold. It's about quality, attention
Yeah.
to details.
Yeah.
It's about how thought and how mature is the architect that planned the whole thing.
Yeah.
How it feels, how it works for them.
And the history, you cannot be like if you go to Paris or Monaco or there is some cities like you have like these buildings built by their ancestors like 200, 300, 400 years ago, made of like rocks and all of that. I think that's a different thing. Yeah, I think that's
one thing that Dubai lacks by now, because it's a new city, 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years of this
It's a
modern
baby city,
development.
yeah.
And it's normal, like for in humankind history, we haven't seen a city like that with this speed of development.
Yeah, it never happened before.
Never happened before. So that's why another myth is, frustrates me, that people start analyzing the market and comparing prices per square foot, let's say in 2008, 2014, 2024, and making predictions like we are at all-time high per square foot. It's dangerous to invest. It should go down, etc. These tools that they're using to measure the market, they're good for, let's say, London. The city is hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
It is not developing at that scale as Dubai.
Yeah.
Imagine Dubai doubled its population 4 times.
Yeah, and in like a small period.
X2 to population 4 times in 30 years. It means that you have, like, let's say, compare any city that is twice smaller to another city, right? The prices per square foot will be different.
Of course.
1 million and 2 million populated cities, they have different price per square foot.
Yeah, the economics are different, yeah.
Dubai did that 4 times. How you can compare them?
So you cannot know. You can never know. And also, I want to add something. Dubai, it's in the Gulf. It's sand. So if you are in Europe, there is green area that you have to consider. But in Dubai, they are building the green area. So construction, it's endless. Of course, they will keep some sand, but there is a lot of sand now to be built. So I think that's also is a crucial point. There is no city that you can measure by Dubai because it's in the middle of sand. So the more you build, the more is good. I think that's also is a crucial point.
Might be working also as an argument for that. But what I wanted to say is that the tools that people are using to make predictions, they are, sometimes they're not applicable because of the speed of development.
Yeah, they're inadequate.
Speed of development, and it's like, when Dubai will be as a city mature, the market is not growing by 18-20%, and the population is comparable to London or other city, then we can compare cycles.
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
because the product as a city is a product.
Yeah.
Is mature. Like it doesn't change a lot. And when a product doesn't change a lot, then based on some demand fluctuations, you can make predictions. But all these graphs, they do not work for a product that changed 4 times completely.
All right, I want to talk about cycles. It's a little bit technical. Usually in CHEKD, we don't go that technical. But with you, I am comfortable to go technical. Because the cycles, you told me, Walid, when we were speaking before the episode, you told me, Walid, like the investment cycles, like the market is cyclical. Obviously, the real estate market is cyclical. That's an obvious thing. First of all, I don't know the cycle of real estate market in Dubai. If you briefly explain this to me, and then we can jump into the way that people are portraying that cycle and the way you think this is the correct cycle.
Well, just not to make it long, if you look at prices per square foot on, let's say, on Property Monitor or on DXB Interact.
All right.
The DXB Interact is a free tool. You can enter there and check the market data for different years. And let's say if in 2008 you see a peak of price per square foot, and then there was global crisis that hit all the markets all around the world. Prices went down. Yeah, that was not a problem of Dubai.
It was the US problem, BlackRock and all of that story. Yeah,
but Dubai was not ready at that time to hedge risks like that because we didn't have a lot of tools, and
it was still very new.
And we didn't have that DLD as a mature structure that is in charge of market, and they are really doing perfect job now in regulating number of permits for construction, the actual demand for new constructions. They are measuring it very precisely as to not create disbalance of new constructions and actual demand.
Yeah.
So they're doing it now, and you are hedged against some of the major risks we had in 2008. So we have a point in 2008 where the price per square foot was. Then it went down. I don't just want to give you some particular figures. I don't remember them actually for price per square foot.
Yeah.
Then you go for 2018 peak, which was higher than 2008. And then we had market going down. We didn't have the escrow accounts. A lot of developers were disappearing with the money they collected from Dubai. We know the stories, Again, now Dubai has made the homework. Now these stories cannot happen.
Again,
Because what I like about the leadership and management of the city and the UAE, it's very flexible, very fast.
Yeah.
And they are reacting to anything like the floods.
Yeah, the floods, they were like quickly
right
fixed.
after the floods, all the naysayers were like, Dubai now is,
they were happy, like the naysayers, the envious people. Yeah, they were happy.
Name me any other city where just in 1 week, the decision was made to create the most advanced water sewage system in the world here in Dubai.
It was crazy.
That will cater 100 years of Dubai's needs in terms of how the disasters like that will be handled. So that recently, His Highness Sheikh Maktoum announced that Dubai will spend $8 billion on that system.
Yeah.
Some cities of comparable size in the world, $8 billion is their total budget for the whole year.
True. Yeah.
Let's say Moscow, 20 million population. The year budget is around $32 billion.
Yeah.
It's everything, like salaries, all the development,
All the
roads,
economical transactions.
everything.
Yeah.
If you combine it, it's only $32 million, if I'm not
Wow.
$32 billion.
Yeah, 32 billion. Yeah, that makes
And
more
here
sense.
we
yeah.
spend only on sewer system 8 billion. Government of Dubai spends and announces 32 billion to an airport. Then on planting mangrove trees and recreating the natural
Wow. Yeah.
forests, right?
Yeah.
So just in 1 month, you can get investment decisions made by government for $100 billion.
Wow.
That's the heavy investments Dubai is doing into infrastructure, into strengthening its position, quickly reacting to any
Problems.
or any white spots they have in the
Yeah.
model. That's why the speed of development is this fast.
Yeah.
Imagine in London, in Moscow, in any other city, they face some problem. It
Yeah.
will take years to make a
fix it.
decision.
Yeah, here is very fast. Look, I want to ask you something. The way before talking to you versus after talking to you, I feel like the prices, because in my head I was like, okay, maybe they will stop or maybe a little bit drop a little bit. But the way you're seeing it, if I see it from your lens, the prices will not stop increasing. Even though I feel like now they stopped slightly, right?
What I see, and you know, we all have our
And I want you to tell me what you think about the speculations of the crash. Some people are saying, oh, maybe it will crash. I really want to talk about it. Really, a lot of people are saying it.
yeah. Let's start with the crash.
All right, go
favorite
ahead.
topic. If you Google it, Dubai, one of the top 3 searches is when Dubai market will crash, or is a Dubai market bubble? And then agents answering this question, they start referring to UBS global report saying where Dubai's position is. There is some other perspective how you can look at it.
Yeah.
Let's say current population is 3.2 million, and we have 150,000 people moving to Dubai since 2021.
All right.
So the plans are to have 7 million by 2040, the population.
Yeah.
So it means we'll have around 200 to 150,000 people flowing in Dubai. So it means they need a place to live, either to rent or to buy property. This is actual healthy demand, right? What do we have on supply side? It's around 86,500 units, I guess, that were started since 2020 and will be delivered till 2026.
So we have a shortage.
86,000 units means, let's say, 3 people are living in every unit, starting from studio to villa, right? So it's what is it, like 30,000 units per year?
Yeah.
What is the actual supply? And the demand on the other side is,
I think you said the demand. How many people they need to come? Like 20.
currently we have 150,000 people moving to Dubai.
Yeah, it's
right?
like too short.
60,000 apartments can be absorbed by these people. And you have another big group, tourists.
We forgot about the tourists as well. Yeah.
17 million tourists visited Dubai last year, right? And the number of tourists is increasing. And all the hotel rooms we have here, they are serving something like 20% or 30% of the whole tourists.
The rest
coming.
are Airbnb.
Rest are Airbnb. So it's different consumption of properties. So if you combine these two, we are way undersupplied. We need to increase speed 2 or 3 times number of projects launched to catch up with the demand. So if you have these figures in hands, then you ask the guy who is predicting crashes, etc. Sorry, but why? Based on what?
Like how come? Yeah.
Okay. If it crashes, why would it happen? Someone say, yeah, in US something, etc. Okay, if in US something happens,
it will add the.
It will affect everywhere, but Dubai at the very least, because Dubai is the only safe haven for people and for capital right now. It's a new Switzerland, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Moving money, business, and people here in a neutral country and in a perfect city. For wealthy people. And for those who want to preserve their wealth. Right?
Actually, I want to talk about something that is little bit out of real estate. I want to talk about the weather, especially you're from a cold country.
Right.
And people, because I'm now dealing with a lot of comments because I have a podcast, so I hear a lot of nonsense. Like there's comments that they make no sense. People think the problem with Dubai is the weather. And I will tell you guys, the good thing about Dubai may be more than the taxes. It's the weather. It's the best weather ever. We have only 3 or 4 months. They are disaster. They're very hot and humid. Yes. But you have 9 months, 8 months of amazing weather. You can swim in the winter, wear a jacket on the top if you want. The weather is super, like it's in the sweetest spot ever.
Right.
I want to know this is my perspective. I want to know the perspective of a person coming from a cold country. What do you think about the weather in Dubai or the UAE?
The same comments I hear from people who are coming from Russia also.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying, I've been mostly living in Moscow.
Yeah.
In Moscow, we have a bad season for 8 months. When it's cold, when it's dirty outside, because the snow is coming, you need to spray some chemicals in the street as not them to get frozen, and then it becomes a mess around. Yeah, it's always dirty, cold. It smells. Yeah, the chemicals
because of the chemicals. Yeah,
you have 8 months, and what is left? Like four months of good weather, 3 months of good weather.
Yeah, so it's like the opposite. Yeah,
you have 3 months here when let's say low season.
It's so hot. Like let's be honest. Like it's too hot, and you feel sometimes trapped because you cannot go out. Like me, I can because it's my appetite. I jog at 1 p.m. I can jog literally at 1 p.m. I'm used to this weather, but for the newcomers, I understand it's very tough. But the weather thing, it's because this is it's a misconception that the weather in Dubai is bad.
The universal rule for this kind of comments is ask people what is let's say bad season in your country. Is it like very hot or is it snowing like in Moscow? Okay, how long is it? Anyway, good weather in Dubai is longer.
The good weather in Dubai is longer, and then
like
you fixed it.
For how many months you can swim outside, or it's a good weather in your country? And the answer always will be that Dubai has better weather.
Exactly, yeah. It makes total sense. Look, when you were speaking about... Now I have 3 questions in my head. Now 2, because I asked one. But there is one that is very related to what you do. And it's one of the reasons I really wanted you to be with me on CHEKD. Basically, you said that the UAE, or Dubai, it's still new. We don't have those top-notch luxury units because especially we don't have 300-400 years old real estate. We have they're all new. But I noticed through our conversation that Dubai is taking a different approach. So there you can see now a Bugatti building, a Jacob & Co. community. So they're taking this different road. It never happened before, and it's your specialty. And I really want to know about this. It's so cool, and I never met someone in the market who's specialized in this. So I want to know, just like briefly explain to us about this thing, man. It's cool.
My specializing in branded residences happened quite naturally because when you are dealing with high net clients,
yes,
they're looking for some quality projects. And what you see on the market usually is a set of branded residences where these kind of clients settle. And for branded residences, it's a market inside the market. Because you need to understand where the real added value is. The concept itself is very simple. There is a developer, he can build anything, like in terms of how many stones or glass he is using, etc., etc. What really adds value to any development is the concept, the idea, the level of execution, and the materials they use, etc., etc. So there are 2 ways. Either the developer is creating this concept with the consultants, with architects, etc., or he's taking a ready concept and implementing, like sticking a badge.
Yeah, it's like X. Like, for example, Louis Vuitton X Nike. It was
So you are cutting corners. Like you are not spending too much time on that. You are taking a company that has brand, that has heritage, that has some services. You're sticking it to development. That's it. The product is ready. You go for selling.
Yeah.
The trick is not every brand can be attached to a building so that it creates added value. Because in this case, 1 plus 1 should be 11, not 2.
Yeah. Got your point.
So you have like there is a video on my channel that I shared just to explain how you can approach this if you want to figure out branded residences, if there's added value or not, how you can approach and classify
the
that
link
market.
is here, huh? The link is here. You can check it out. Yeah.
And let's say if it's a hospitality brand, almost always it's a good decision.
Like Address, for example, right?
Address is one of the best in the market.
Yeah.
But there is also there are tricky points with Address.
Of course. But sorry, Address, it was a collab with Emar, right?
Address was actually created by Emar.
Oh, cool.
It's Emar's brand.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's, I think, the most sustainable and the best way for developers to evolve is to create their own products.
Better than collaborating with...
when I'm saying it's a market inside the market, take an area called, let's say, Creek Harbor. In that area, if you want to spend a bit more money than what average building costs and to get a bit more quality, you have a product by Emar called Address, or you have a product called Palace or Vida.
Vida, yeah. I hear a lot about Vida, yeah.
So for these kind of clients, in let's say in any given area, I have three products.
All right.
So for other developers, it's a good example what they can create. For example, Shoba is creating the S Towers now.
S Towers.
Yes, they will be high-end projects with better finishings, better concepts, etc. But I haven't went into details yet. But this is the natural way to create your own product.
But the collaboration, I think is more interesting, to be quite sorry. But like if you hear about a Bugatti building, nobody can beat this. Sorry, bro. This is how I see it.
When you are selling off-plan, when you are selling concept, idea, it might sound good. But I'm not the guy who can be impressed and
by just the flashiness of the idea.
And the emotions come up, and I say, let's go.
I get your point.
I need to go into details.
You slow down, you see the analytical part.
Like what's the? Let's not talk about Bugatti, but let's say any automobile brand. What is the added value? What is your personal experience as an end user in that building? After that, the name is Bugatti. Do you have engine oil coming from your tap in the kitchen?
No.
You have the sport exhaust in your bedroom? Right?
No.
What do you have?
So why this conversation is interesting? Because my background is Louis Vuitton. I used to work with Louis Vuitton for 3 years. The reason why I think a Bugatti building is interesting is because of just the name. The fact that it's a Bugatti building, the name of Bugatti will add to it. Of course, it has to be up to that level, like the savoir-faire, the know-how of Bugatti, if it's applied on... Because, for example, in Louis Vuitton, they started with bags. And then they applied the same savoir-faire or know-how into shoes. And then into clothing. And it always do a good result because they have like a sort of expertise in this field. Now, building and car, they are both like engineering. We're talking about engineering. So if... I think it was Benghati with Bugatti. It was
correct.
So basically, if Benghati Engineering will collaborate with Bugatti engineers and they want to do something top-notch in terms of investment also, I mean, there's funds being added because of the name. I think the name plus the know-how, it will add... I might be wrong, you know better than me, but that's how I perceive it.
Anyway, we are making predictions. Both of us, we have crystal balls where we look and make our predictions, right?
Exactly. But your crystal ball is more developed than mine, obviously.
It might be. But you have this experience in Louis Vuitton, and as you said, you cannot just take Louis Vuitton and create an ice cream. There should be brand extension.
Yes.
At least in the middle. Let's say if Bugatti was doing the first furniture, and then they were doing a hotel, And then now they have enough expertise and brand extension to that.
Yeah.
And then they are creating residences that would be fully, understandable, like Armani.
Yeah.
I would definitely go for, let's say, Armani residences
Yeah.
on Palm, because Maestro Armani has hotels,
Yeah.
top-notch hotels.
Yeah.
He has a furnishing brand, and he's known for the attention he pays to every detail where he's involved.
Yeah.
So you can say that if he's involved, the product will be on the level.
Cool.
And he has expertise in creating
Yeah.
habitats.
Yeah. He
got
already,
my
yeah,
point.
he had the natural transition.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you might lose added value sticking just a brand to a building if it's not a natural extension.
I got your point.
That's what I think.
That's your point of view. All right. So, Camille, if I have a salary of 10,000 dirhams, first of all, should I invest in real estate? If yes, where do you advise?
If you have salary of 10,000 dirhams invested into creating of income, let's say of 20 or 30,000 dirhams, if it means for you creating, to moving into another apartment, creating, investing into tools that you are working with or education, that would work better. Real estate is a long game.
So you don't advise people with 10K salary to buy an apartment?
They can because rental yields in Dubai, they're 8 to 10%, right?
Yeah.
So if you can apply for mortgage,
and
if it's a place to live,
yes,
then it's kind of investment.
So it's like instead of paying your rent, you're paying your mortgage and living. So yeah.
But you need the first down payment, which is around 20%. Right?
Yeah, so you have to save, obviously, savings. All right, if I have a salary of 50K, what do you advise me to do? What's the best thing for me?
Again, I would advise you to go for a mortgage and to start with renting out, not to play into flipping, because you're not financially stable in terms of something goes wrong.
So if I have 50K, you advise me to take a mortgage, buy to rent, not buy to resell.
Right.
Cool. If I have 1 million dirham, what do you advise me?
With 1 million, I would go for Arjan.
Arjan.
Yeah, not JVC.
Not JVC. Hey, by the way, there's a lot of, I'm hearing that people are a small community or a small portion of Asians, they are saying that JVC is not a good idea. Like you, I heard it from few people. Why do you think is that?
Basic rule. First, look at Moscow. It looks like circle.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it's stuck in traffic jams.
Oh.
Any radial planning of a city causes traffic jams. And you see it in JVC now.
So anything circular,
yeah,
it will create traffic.
Right, because cars are spending more time in over driving,
Yeah, I got your point.
The less time car is on the road, the less are traffic jams. So this radial planning is a proven mistake. And that's why traffic will get worse and worse. We have 20 or 30% of JVC just handed over.
Wow. And do you think that will kill the JVC?
The traffic jams and these mistakes in planning will cause people who are renting properties move to other areas. And if the area is comfortable for them in terms of location, the nearest one is Arjan, which is in terms of, if you look at it as an area, is better choice because it has schools, it has Miracle Garden, it has park, and Dubai Hills Mall in just 6 minutes drive.
True. So it's a better choice to go to Arjan than JVC.
In 3 years, when the traffic gets worse here and it gets oversupplied,
everybody will jump to Arjan.
If you're buying to rent out, an off plan, you buy in Arjan, not in JVC.
Cool. All right. Now, if I have $1 million, not 1 million dirham, $1 million, what do you advise me to do?
And you want to resell?
I don't know what I want. I have $1 million. I came to you. What do you do? What do I do, Emir? And I live here. I live here. I'm talking people who live here.
Okay. We can still go for Dubai Island or Expo.
Dubai or Expo?
Yeah.
All right. Why Expo? Dubai Island makes sense, but Expo, you took me by surprise there.
Yeah. If you look at the urban plan and the plans where government is putting its attention and money, it's this part.
Yeah.
Because you have Palm Jebel Ali, then you have industrial zone, free zones, you have logistics city.
Yeah.
You have a lot of points where people will be attracted because they're doing business there.
Yeah.
Expo is like downtown for that area. It's the most
Yeah.
developed, the most beautiful place,
Yeah.
and the most wealthy guys doing business
There,
in
I've
that
been there
area.
like 4 times. It's a cool place. Like I didn't know that their plan is Expo transform into like a residential city, and I saw it. It's beautiful.
They've launched just first phases, and as I told you, that's the perfect time when you buy something to get the price appreciation.
Okay, so now we're gonna upgrade to from $1 million. We're gonna go directly to 50 million. If I have $50 million and I wanna invest in real estate, what should I do?
I would create a portfolio just to hedge different risks.
All right,
Let's
so
say.
I diversify my
Right.
yeah. You
Because
said
you need some cash flow, you need some units that will appreciate high, and I would definitely add to that portfolio
yeah.
some units from my favorite project.
All right.
They have two, actually.
Okay.
PMR is building the Rings project in Dubai Canal. Dubai Canal is
The
considered...
Rings project.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
That's a perfect example of branded residences that will be working as an investment also.
So the Ring project is who's the prior developer to it?
The developer is PMR, but what matters for me most is not actually the developer. Whose hand will build it?
All right. So whose hand is
Who is the
building-
contractor?
Yeah,
The
who's
first
the
question.
Yeah.
Because with any beautiful concept, it can be ruined by...
By who's doing it? The savoir-faire, the know-how. It's the
Right.
most important thing. Yes.
And we know some examples when the whole project was ruined by execution and prices depreciated.
And give me an example. What was the? Was that?
I just don't want to...
You don't want to create a problem. Up to you.
Yeah, to
Maybe
create
we spoke
problems.
about it before.
No, we didn't.
We didn't mention it. All right. So
Okay.
we didn't mention it. Sorry.
So that's the only concern. Whose hands are not the only concern, but whose hands are doing the job is more important. Than developer can be a new one.
But
It's okay.
the contractor is the most
The
important.
contractor who has a track record on the on the
Okay,
ground.
makes sense.
And if you ask anyone, Four Seasons in Dubai Canal is the best quality project. So another point is who is creating the concept. The concept is like brand attached or architects.
Yeah.
And here we have Fosters and Partners who are creating landmarks.
Yeah.
Like, these are the best branded residences that I like when you
Wow.
have the best architects in the world involved. They
Oh,
have
yeah.
the biggest expertise in how to create
Because
living spaces.
the architect is the soul of the project, the
Right.
mind. Yeah.
So if I see Fosters and Partners, if I see Zaha Hadid, definitely this is the better choice than, let's say,
Can you say them again? The
Fosters plus Partners.
And?
Let's say Zaha Hadid.
Okay.
Opus by Omnia, the building in Business Bay.
Yes,
It's
yes.
definitely a landmark for the whole area.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
The best building there,
Yeah.
and the whole Dubai.
Cool.
So just an example of a good project when it's
Yeah.
collaborating with architects.
Done.
For 50 million, I would go for Rings plus portfolio of projects.
Done. Now we have just quick section. It's another challenge. I'm gonna split the challenge. So with you, I did 2 challenges. So it's a new thing. It's called Should I Invest In? So quickly, should I invest in Creek Harbor or downtown?
Neither.
Okay, neither. I respect that. Should I invest in City Walk or Blue Waters?
Neither.
Wow, not even City Walk.
When you say investment, I hear it from my perspective.
So both of them. Okay, end user. Should I buy in City Walk or Blue Waters as an end user?
City Walk.
City Walk. Imar or Shoba?
A hammer or a paintbrush.
So yeah.
Developers and their products are just the tools, depending on what goal you are pursuing.
Okay, got your point.
If you
yeah.
want to live in it,
Yeah.
I would suggest Shoba.
All right.
If you want to gain the capital appreciation, Emar is the best master developer in Dubai.
Yeah, got your point. So it depends on who's.
It depends on your goal.
It depends on
Why
your goal.
you're investing.
So there is no such as the best developer.
No, that's why actually one of the most Googled questions. What is
Yeah.
the best developer in Dubai?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It all
Yeah.
depends on your goals. You are painting a wall, or you're working with a hammer,
Yeah.
or you are doing something else. These are just tools.
Exactly. So if you want to destroy a wall, you cannot use a brush.
Right.
If you want to paint a wall, you cannot use a hammer. It depends
Right.
what you want. Make the perfect sense. Okay. JVC or Azizi Riviera? I know it's not JVC from your standpoint now, but just for the sake of the challenge.
For what?
For end users, we're talking end users. Because with you, I cannot talk investment because, as you said, it depends on the person, and it's making perfect sense. Actually, your personal point of view, Azizi Rivera or JVC?
JVC.
JVC? Really? I like Azizi Rivera. You really like JVC more than Azizi Rivera?
You like the concept.
I like when I saw it, I loved it.
Yeah,
It's
but
better
you
than
don't. But you should go for track record.
Really? So in terms of track record, JVC is better than Azizi Rivera.
Yeah.
Cool. You're a numbers guy. I understand that. Tilal Al Ghaf or Arabian Ranges?
Tilal Al Ghaf.
Okay. Dubai Hills or District 1?
For end users,
Yes,
of course, District 1.
of course, District 1. Palm Jumeirah or Emirates Hills? That's a tough one.
For end user,
Mm-hmm.
Emirates Hills.
No. Between Emirates Hills and Palm Jumeirah, you go for Emirates Hills.
Right.
Wow, I thought you were gonna say Palm. Why not Palm?
Because of community.
Because of community.
Actually, Palm is not a community. It's like
an
Big
island. Yeah, it's
big
like
holiday home and touristic destination.
Yeah.
If you're living in Dubai,
and actually, I think Palm have multiple communities within it.
yes,
Yeah.
correct. But if you're exiting your villa, you're not much. You know how it's planned.
Mm.
It's not creating connections between neighbors.
Yeah.
Of course, they're all, the level of people who are not actually going to visit each
Of
other.
course, yeah.
Every
They are
day
like
and
different type of
asking
people. Yeah.
if you have some salt. I'm cooking some. But anyway,
Between their chefs, maybe not between them.
what urban planners do, they can create a place where people are more in touch, or they can create a place where they are divided.
It depends on the personality of the person who's living there.
It depends on planning, how the area is planned.
Yeah.
So
I got your
Emirates
point, yeah.
living is more about community and it creates neighborhood. It
So
creates
Emirates
community.
Hills, according to you, why you choose Emirates Hills is because it gives a better neighborhood lifestyle. Your
Right.
kids can play in the road, and it gives a better charm. It makes sense, by the way. Now we're gonna jump something related to you. This is not related to real estate. Bitcoins or dollars?
Bitcoins.
Thank you for that. Do or itisalat?
Virgin.
Why all real estate people use Virgin? This is very crazy. The beach, JBR or Kite Beach? If you want to go to the beach.
Kite Beach.
Kite Beach. Burj Khalifa or Burj Al Arab?
Burj Al Arab.
You like Burj Al Arab?
Because Kite Beach.
That's a good point.
I'm consistent, you see.
Of course. Yeah, you're consistent in your choices. Okay, cars, BMW or Mercedes?
Anything except BMW.
Really? So Mercedes.
Yeah.
Why? You don't like me at BMW?
No, not my cup of tea.
Really? I love BMW. Ferrari or Lamborghini?
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Camille, for sure, we're going to do another one. For
Really?
sure, yeah. Because I feel like there is a lot of things we didn't top 10. We will do another podcast. I promise you that.
I'm at your disposal.
Really? Camille, checked. So we're done. But I feel like we needed more time. And I think we can do easily a 2 hour. Look, because you know why?